On today's episode of Don't Do That Home Inspections. Don't do that.
What a nice bathroom. Except for what the fuck is that?
You know what? Some may say that this is a crazy idea for bathroom shelving.
Oh yeah,
Finishing up?
problem,
Yeah.
problem. Let me just go ahead and get out here.
All right, use the sink. Get to it. Can you get in there?
Ma'am, the unit has lots of cabinetry, so you won't have any shortage of space. If you open these up, you get a load of bullshit.
Blake just said there's a window behind there.
Okay, but who's turning that light on?
Hello, Mr. George. How much you pay for the new guy?
Take a shower. Honestly, your arm sticks out past the outer edge. Barely got enough room to stand. I mean,
we see a person showing a shower, and when you actually want to use that shower, your hand just keeps hitting the wall. And just imagine, at the moment when you just want to wash up, your hands will be all bruised up. And let me remind you, for all of this, people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars.
The shower drain. At least the screen is working. Catching all that debris.
Well, that one's not even close.
Oh, this is great. Hits the gas meter. Perfect.
Here's the bedroom window. That has a damaged jam liner. Kitchen cabinetry around the plumbing cleanout was poorly cut. That's going to make it difficult for service. The brick transition at this roof overhang is missing flashing. And also synthetic fill to cover the roof sheathing.
This is a warning that is going out to everyone out there that is thinking about buying a new home. If you're thinking about buying a new home, especially if that home is built by D.R. Horton, you better buyer beware. That's why these homeowners right here, they have houses in South Carolina that are basically falling apart. Yeah, they are built so poorly, they have had to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in just the most basic of repairs, like making sure the roof works, making sure pipes are there, making sure electrical outlets even have electricity running to them. I mean, they are having significant problems because the houses are literally falling apart. And that means that the onus falls on the homeowner. Because after a year, D.R. Horton says, hey, it's not our responsibility. So if you are, whether it's D.R. Horton or anyone else, if you're thinking about or going to buy a new home, the most important person in that entire transaction is your lawyer. Let me tell you right now, if you don't have a lawyer, these builders will take advantage at every chance they get. So never, ever get involved with a new home without having an attorney. I'll keep you up on this. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come on this story. Like and follow for more.
We see that this company builds houses where the roof leaks, pipes break, and there's no electricity at all. And a year later they say, those are your problems now. Here we just realized that the only way to protect yourself is to hire a lawyer right away. Because with these realities, it's simply not the American dream. It's just the reality you fall into and spend your money on.
So, this part of the job, when we came to quote it, the carpet was down, there was loads of furniture in. We knew this part was bouncy, but we didn't know why. But we have now figured out why the floor's bouncing. So, when the floorboards have been put down, there's not a single join sitting on top of a joist. it's all bouncing. So it's coming up. There's another one, almost right through. This customer's got kids, and this part, it's a new air build. It's 15 to 20 years old, but this part was an extension. So this builder has put this floor in, knowing that the joins are on top of joists, and just went with it. And another one, terrible.
I feel like this doesn't get spoken about enough, but it's new construction homes, okay? They are trash, bro, and these builders consistently keep building them just to be trash. They know what they're doing. They know there's all these faults. They know they're going to be screwing the home buyers, but they get away with it. And then when there's the inspectors that get hired to come through to do the job, they do their job correctly and good. They're like, hey, you can't sell this house until this stuff gets passed. Well, then they get that person, they get rid of them. Now they're like, they've got their own like in-house inspectors that are passing these houses that should never pass off, right?
We see that builders are firing real, honest inspectors and hiring, let's do that again. We see that builders are kicking out honest inspectors and hiring their own who, let's do that again. We see that builders are kicking out honest inspectors and hiring their own who just rubber stamp everything. They absolutely don't care. Crooked, slanted, uneven, broken. They accept everything and say it's fine, and then you move in and grab your head in shock.
They're selling them to people. Some of these people are first-time home buyers, but regardless, they get into the home and like the homes are flooding. If you have not seen some of these TikToks, bro, like the homes are flooding, shit's just falling apart. Then they get on the phone like, hey, this is not under warranty, or this is under warranty, but you know, they don't come out and fix it and stuff like that. It's just crazy to me how it's like nobody's getting in trouble for this shit. Every time I see this shit, I'm like, nope, I would never buy a new construction home. You're talking about $1 million homes and shit like that are just complete trash. You touch the brick, it falls off.
So I was a little taken back what this builder just said to me. So let me ask you a question, but let me give you a little backstory first. So we dropped off Radon at this new build inspection a couple days ago, so it'd be ready by the time of the inspection. And for you, those that don't know, Radon is, you know, a radioactive gas. It can cause lung cancer. It's class 1, carcinogen, and all that good stuff. But he told me in a frustrated voice that generally they don't allow home inspectors to test for radon because if levels come back high, they're not going to do anything about it. So I'm testing, and sure enough, levels have come back high. So my question for you, do you think the builder should rule off a safety hazard and say they're not going to do anything about it? Or do you think that should be something that they should take care of?
We see that the builder forbade testing the house for harmful gases. Here we see that even if these harmful gases are present, they say they won't take any responsibility or redo anything. They just don't care that you could get sick from this or even get cancer. And here we see a situation where these builders aren't punished at all. Not by the law, not by anything. They just don't care.
Like I said, I'm a little taken back that they're just going to blatantly ignore a potential safety hazard. So what do you all think? Let me know in the comments.
And if an inspector looks behind that wall, you're going to need a fucking lawyer. Half my tool bag is shit that I have borrowed and never returned. I didn't forget your change order. I just wanted you to shut the fuck up. Every time I fix something, it just makes the punch list longer. Like my dude. Didn't forget nails. I just figured drywall screws work for everything. I don't bring tools to the job. I bring problems and sometimes solutions. I don't work fast or slow. I just work till I'm fucking tired of it. If I did it right the first time, I wouldn't have a fucking job tomorrow. If cutting corners was a trade, I'd be a fucking legend. You want the son bitch straight, you better stand somewhere else and look at it. Construction tip of the day. If you fuck up, you blame it on somebody that ain't here. Seeing straighter sheets of metal after a tornado. I am the reason that contractors quit offering guarantees. This straight line looks like it came right out of a drunk dude's piss stream. If the inspector can't see it, neither can Jesus.
It's the whole house. Good.
bad.
Primary bathroom shower, you can see I have all three fixtures running at the same time. No water pressure out of the therapy jets. Not only that, but the valves were installed too close together and cannot be operated simultaneously. Kitchen receptacle, this one is properly wired. And this one is not properly wired. It appears the neutral was left open. Hardware on the attic ladder is loose. I mean, come on now. That's an accident waiting to happen. Not only is there holes in this brand new roof, but the plumbing vent sacks are still capped. That should make for a fun smell inside the home, or drainage issues. In the HVAC system, here's the installation instructions for the flue. It clearly states there should be 1 inch of clearance from anything combustible. Don't have it there, or there. On top of that, you have wires entering the metal coil housing that are not sealed or protected from physical damage. And here's where the housing connects to the supply plenum. They didn't even seal it. You already know. Needs to be fixed.
Have a look at this, and this is considered an act of God by the builder, knowing this house is brand new. So with the driving rain that we've had the last couple of days, this floor is soaked. And as you can see, baseboard's swollen up. And right outside this window is the corner of the home where the prevailing wind was pushing all the water, but act of God according to the builder.
The floor is wet, the baseboard's swollen, there's no waterproofing at all. We just see how the whole house is soaked with dampness. And the builder says to this that it's all God's will. And you know, well, it wasn't the Lord who built this house, but the builders and their people who did a poor job on this work. And now an ordinary person doesn't know what to do or who to even sue. Here we just see a situation where this builder already knew in advance that they would call him. So he already had a prepared answer that we don't know anything, God is to blame for everything.
Also another area, the front of the home, remarkably, another act of God in this brand new home. So what do you think? Is this an act of God problem, or is this an act of incompetence and lack of accountability problem from the builder? Let me know in the comments.
So I recently bought a property in Cape Town. Here are the before and after part 3, the outside. This is the outside of the house, and you can see these cracks all along the wall. This is a weather facing wall, so it takes the full impact of sun, rain and moisture over time. We cut open each crack to about 3 centimeters deep and 3 centimeters wide, right down to brick level. That removes all the weak plaster and gives the repair something solid to bond to. Once the cracks were opened up, they were also stitched to stabilize the wall and prevent movement. Now let me show you guys an issue that I picked up when I was viewing the house to buy. So it looks like when they put up this carport here, they drove too close to the corner, and when they drove in, it broke the side off there. So what we're doing is we just removed it, and we're gonna move it to about there. Gonna use the existing bolts. Pool acid is great for removing rust on screws. So that's what it looks like now. This is the final result of the plastering, and now it just needs to wait to dry for painting. So I'll see you back here in about 2 weeks. It's very important that you let it dry out and the moisture absorb over the next good couple of days. So don't immediately paint after plastering, otherwise it's just gonna crack again.
I was thinking about something the other day. I'm a registered builder, but honestly I have very little interest in building for private clients anymore. And I wondered how many other builders are in the same boat as me. When I started my apprenticeship, being a builder meant building things, carpentry, concrete, steel, excavation, solving problems on site. Now it feels like being a builder is just contracts and compliance and emails, paperwork, variations and cash flow management. It's like big contracts and liabilities, big milestone payments, like there's constant expenses and crap cash flow. The strange thing is like I still love building and construction, but
This builder said honestly that nowadays construction is turned into a bunch of paperwork, contracts, checks, and nothing real. And only those who don't want to do anything are left. They just want to collect the money and run away. And real people who wanted to work and had good, proper skills for it just left because they weren't happy with all of this.
I just don't love what being a residential builder has become. Like these days, I'd rather work for larger builders, delivering quality work, solve their technical problems, and just leave the rest of the admin to them. Am I the only one, or are there other registered builders out there who feel the same way as me? Let me know your thoughts.
This is the thing that slows your builder down during construction on your project. All right, let's say you picked out all the materials throughout your home: tile, plumbing, hardware. Where does your builder need to source all that material from? What are the item numbers? What are the color and finishes, the sizes? All of those things come in different formats. So how does your builder know which format to purchase? And then once they have purchased all those materials, which rooms do they go in? You got multiple bathrooms throughout a home. Which tile goes in which bathroom? What direction does it get laid in? What's the grout color? What's the width? If your builder's having to ask those questions, there's a chance your project is getting off track. And the answer lives in a document called a finished schedule. And it looks a little bit like this. Not everyone is the same, but generally it's going to have a reference image, a link to where the material can be sourced from, the item name and SKU, the finish, which room it goes in. All of those specifications are contained in this document. Now, a finished schedule, sometimes it's printed out and it's part of an actual design book, but nowadays a lot of builders use project management systems like Buildertrend, and these specifications can just get uploaded there. If you're working with an interior designer, this is one of those deliverables that they should be providing your builder, ideally way before they need the answers.
Nightmare Install Part 1.
This is why the grotor's cracking.
Back butter, baby. We can reinstall these.
Looks like these guys did you a favor, Ant.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, did they use cement? I think they bonded this directly with scratch. No thin side.
Let's see how many exposed nails that we can find. Got one. And another. And some more. They didn't even try to get close with this one. Another one. Way off. So there's literally dozens, if not hundreds of nails exposed on this thing. Get your new house inspected.
So for my career, I am a construction project manager. And I think the hardest thing in my life is trying to get people to understand that when I'm not at work, I don't want to make decisions. I make very high level, high risk decisions all day long, and when I get home or like when I'm off of work, I don't want to make another decision. I don't want to pick where to eat. I don't want to pick what's for dinner. I don't want to pick what activity we're gonna do. I don't want to do any of those decision-making things. I just want somebody to pick it for me. And I think it's hard because people think like, oh, well, you're not putting in the effort, or you're not, just putting in the effort to like make decisions. And when you make decisions like I do all day long.
She describes total exhaustion from work. You work 50 hours for the sake of a mortgage, and then you come home to get some rest, and your house starts falling apart on top of it. There's one problem, then another. And then you realize that all this stress, it's just shortening your life.
You don't want to make another one, even if it's something silly and stupid. But it's exhausting. I just like when people pick for me.
Hey everybody, remember that unfinished / damaged ridge on that new build? Oh, I'm still on it. Yeah, that one down there. I thought, you know, maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and they just didn't have the right material to finish it. But then I get to the upper section, the same thing, man. Not cool.
If you discover certain defects post-closing, well, first of all, let me suggest that you have a lawyer review your contract before you sign it and review closing documents before you close. The inspection during a home or commercial purchase is very important, and it would be helpful to have a lawyer review those with you. Those might disclose the defects so that you don't have those problems or they're resolved and handled before closing. Now, say you discover the defect post-closing, then it would be wise for you to come into my office, sit down with me, let's discuss the defect, and let's see what your rights are relating to the scope of that defect. And if it's something we can go after for damages, or it's not worth your time and effort. But I'm always happy to discuss the legal issues regarding defects.
$13 million in defects, but the claim failed because of one deadline. This case involved a 98-unit apartment building in Parklea. Years after completion, the owners corporation discovered about $13 million worth of defects in the building. By this time, both the builder and the developer had gone into administration, so the owners corporation was left with no choice but to go to the home building warranty insurer. This type of insurance isn't like normal insurance, it's almost like the last resort, so if the builder is unable to fix the defects, which in this case they couldn't because they were insolvent, the insurer could step in and do it. Under the Home Building Act, there's a strict 10-year time frame to start a claim for insurance. However, this starts from the date that the occupation certificate is issued. In this case, it was issued in September 2008, meaning it expired in 2018. The Owners Corporation did try and rely on some emails that was sent in about 2012, which was within the 10-year time frame. However, the court didn't accept those letters as being a formal commencement of a claim, but rather just notifying the insurer of the defects. In cases like this, when recovery from the builder, the developer, and the insurance fails, owners corporations are often left to fund the rectification works themselves, and this usually comes from special levies raised. So in the end, the owners of the apartments end up paying for it.
What happens when you close on your new home and you find out that the other home inspection company that you used for your pre-purchase inspection was not as thorough as you were hoping? You just closed on the house, but you haven't moved in yet. Correct. How many days have you owned this house?
We closed on Thursday.
Oh, okay, so like 4 days.
4 days.
Okay, and did you have any inspections prior?
We did, yes.
Okay, it sounds like the other home inspector was like, your house did pretty good, but then they knew something just wasn't right.
Just this kind of like the whole process was like almost like, all right, yeah, everything looks good, everything looks good. And then like,
yeah. Did the other home inspector even go in the attic? Did he even go in the attic?
I don't think so, no. Yeah, so I don't think he went up that side.
Well, let me tell you what he missed by not going in that one. I've made it to my happy place, the attic space, and immediately we've already found a broken truss member. That's your attic scuttle. If he would have just put his nose in there, he would have seen that. Now, what is even better is it sounds like the builder's community organizer also did not want these new homeowners to go in their attic.
It's like, oh yeah, you don't want to go up here and do like anything in here. Like, you don't want to go up there.
They were telling you not to go in the attic?
Yeah.
And then that's where we found the broken trusses?
Yeah, that's not the guy that got fired for this.
The building supervisor that got fired
Yes.
was the one that told you not to go in the attic.
Yeah.
Like
it's just me like, you want to avoid going up here.
Right.
There's no need for you to go up here.
Right. No, 2 broken trusses in there.
The contractor, before quitting, specifically asked the homeowners not to go into the attic because there's a broken support beam. And here we see the worst part of all, that he intentionally wanted to hide this crime. And that's already a criminal offense. You can actually go to prison for something like that.
And another broken or damaged truss member over here. We're not showing you everything that we found on this home inspection because I'm sure you don't want to watch a 10-minute video. But what's your thoughts? Please leave your comments below.
Can this general contractor be held liable for the painter's mistake?
Lawyer's reaction.
Look at this nice brand new floor they got installed in this unit, and then the painters came in to paint. Oh yeah, completely painted. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Right off the bat, I'm just going to tell you that it's obvious the painters are going to be held liable. Obviously. Why on earth would you paint a room and not cover the floor? The question here, ladies and gentlemen, is can the homeowner sue the general contractor for a mistake that the painters made? You might not want to hear this, but at the end of the day, lawyers go after whoever has the deeper pockets. And general contractors will genuinely have bigger insurance policies than a subcontractor painter would, if they even have insurance at all. Now, this wasn't directly the GC's fault, but ladies and gentlemen, that general contractor is liable. It doesn't matter who made the mistake, because when you're the general contractor, the buck falls with you. And if you weren't properly managing everybody and somehow you installed the floors before you painted the walls, that is your fault. It means this homeowner can absolutely sue the general contractor, even though this mistake was made by the painter.
DFW's housing boom just slammed on the brakes. Thousands of brand new homes are sitting empty right now, and builders are panicking. Construction's down nearly 20%, and even with mortgage rates dipping near 6%, buyers have vanished. Builders are throwing everything at the wall, free upgrades, price cuts, incentives, but it's not working. There are more than 12,000 finished homes collecting dust and over 100,000 lots waiting for buyers who may never come. Experts say DFW has flipped from housing shortage to a housing surplus, and with job growth slowing way down, 2026 could get ugly. Share this with a friend who keeps saying they're waiting for prices to drop.
Now, there are 12,000 empty houses in Dallas, and we see that people don't want to buy them at all. Builders are trying all sorts of ways to encourage people to buy, offering discounts, begging, but as you can see, nobody wants to buy. Everyone understands the quality of these houses and just wants to steer clear of them.
I'm technically not supposed to talk about this, but right now, some of the buildings closing in downtown Toronto that were sold at ridiculous prices, such as this one at $2,000 a square foot, the builders are seeing that so many people are unable to close at $2,000 a square foot that they're actually reducing prices with the original purchasers. They're not obviously reducing it to anywhere that's reasonable given the resale market, but surely anything but $2,000 a square foot is preferred. And this is obviously the building I'm referring to, 55 Charles Street. I've had people reach out to me about this building, and the price per square foot which they purchased at is just unfathomable. We're talking about 700 square feet for $1.4 million. By the way, for more on Charles Street condos, you can go check out my YouTube video, Everything You Need to Know About Charles Street Condos, where I break down every single Charles Street condo.
So everyone tells you how exciting it is to get the keys to your first home, but nobody warns you about what happens in the first 30 days of moving in. When I bought my first home as a 23-year-old, I genuinely thought all the stress was over the minute I got them keys and moved in. But after helping hundreds of first-time buyers buy savvy and save money, from my experience and after 16 years in property, I can tell you this. That first month is a massive shock if you're not prepared for it. Now, people will make it sound like it's all excitement, takeaways on the floor, getting hold of the new keys, Pinterest boards to plan out your rooms, but the reality is that it's more like a financial and emotional roller coaster. So here's what nobody tells you about that first month. Your first mortgage payment can be higher than you expect, and sometimes a lot higher. Now, it all depends on how your interest is calculated with your lender and what date your payment's due, depending on what date you move in. Next, all the bills seem to hit at once, whether it be council tax, gas and electric, water. Once they all start coming in and adding up, you really do notice it. And don't forget the setup costs of things like broadband. Next, you need to buy everything, and it feels super expensive. Things like pots, pans, furniture, cutlery. And who actually knew that bins would cost so much? Next, you will feel broke really quickly. I remember sitting on the floor with no sofa because I hadn't bought one yet, literally just on a deck chair or something, thinking, how do I feel so broke so quickly? And it is just because all of them costs come at once. Next, things will go wrong, whether it be a crack, a small leak, it could just be something really little, but things usually do go wrong within the first few months. So it's always something that you should be prepared for and put a little bit of budget aside for. Emotionally, you will suddenly go from this is the most exciting thing ever to have I made a really big mistake super quick. And nobody ever talks about that part, but it's completely normal. And no, it doesn't mean that you've made a bad decision. It just means that you've stepped into a phase that nobody has prepared you for.
Don't expect your new house to feel like home straight away. That expectation, it causes unnecessary stress. Let me explain. So you've moved in and you immediately expect it to feel like home. It doesn't work that way. I'm going to tell you a few things that will help you relax instead of forcing the feeling. Before I do that, make sure you drop a follow so you don't miss any of these home buying tips. So that feeling at home is a process and it's not a switch. It's not going to happen right away. So the reasons why that new house you just moved into doesn't feel like home yet or it feels unfamiliar is because your routines are not yet set. Your body's now adjusting to that new space, and also your nervous system is still alert. The key thing is that you need to remember that nothing is wrong, you're just adjusting. I'm gonna tell you a timeline that they don't talk about. So for most people, the first 2 weeks is survival mode. From 3 to 6 weeks, you're now getting familiar with things. Things are now starting to make sense. 2 to 3 months, you start getting comfortable. You're pretty much used to things now. You're in your comfort mode. And from 3 to 6 months, you start getting attached to the house. This is where you're now thinking of ways to improve the house, where to put stuff. You're attached. That timeline is normal. It's not the decor that makes it feel like home. It's not the furniture. The main thing is repetition. That same spot you have your breakfast, your coffee, that evening routine that you have, that walk to the shop, the repetition. And this is what makes it feel like home. Your brain relaxes when life begins to start feeling predictable again. So don't panic. It's normal. Just relax. So make sure you save and like this, because I'm sure you'll need this reassurance.
Write in the comments. Maybe you bought a house or did renovations in your own home. What kind of problems did you run into? It'll be interesting to hear your stories in the comments. Also, join the discussion. I'm very glad that you're active. Subscribe to the channel and wait for new videos. There'll be many interesting topics.